live on the internets. Oh, hi there. Oh, hi there, internets. Oh, no, it's too late. We're on. Sorry, Jordan. I'm sorry.
That wasn't part of the deal.
Too late. Internet time. Now.
The deal.
There was no deal. I tricked you all to be here. No. I was the evil one all along. It's
Forced
me.
to tell you bedtime stories every Tuesday for eternity.
That's the deal. So, hi everyone. Welcome. We are back to playing Fall of Magic. This is our second time. We have unfolded the map only a little bit so far, I think. Actually, I want to... Oh yeah, look at that. You can see right where we are. We're basically in the middle.
Yeah, right. We're like a third. We're a third.
We're like here. So, that's pretty cool. Let's zoom back in and go say hi to everyone in order that they are on screen. Oh, hi, Kit.
Oh, hi.
How are you? Who are you playing?
I'm okay.
How's it going?
I'm pretty good. I'm feeling scared.
Why is that? Might you say?
Because I don't know what's gonna happen. Mostly because of a scary raven in our midst. I'm playing Caspian, the Fox of Mistwood. I don't know. Mistwood. The Fox of Mistwood. Shocker.
Never would have guessed it.
Never would have guessed. Me, a fox? What? Who?
What? No. Awesome. Let's go say hi to the totally not spooky Katy.
Hello, I'm Katy, and yeah, I'm not scared at all. I have no idea what Kit's talking about.
Who are you playing today?
Oh, I'm playing River, the Raven of Ravenhall, because the alliteration is strong with me.
Makes sense. I like it. Sounds good. Oh, look, it's my turn. Hi, I'm Jess. You're on my channel. If you're here, I assume that you know me. If you don't, hi, I'm Jess. This is my channel. I am playing Fawn, the midwife of Barleytown, because literally before we even picked characters, everyone was like, hey, Jess, are you gonna be Fawn? I was like, yes, that's me. It's me, Fawn, the midwife of Barleytown. Trying to do those nice, happy magics. But yeah, that's me and Jordan.
Hi, I'm Jordan. You can find me at Made of Cartoons. I am playing Vago, the hero, the reluctant former hero of Barleytown. That's it, really. I'm excited. I missed it last week, so I'm excited to be back.
That's true.
Want me to do my little intro? It's not gonna mean a lot if you haven't seen the previous one, but
it's a good little, I mean, it's not a full recap, but it's a nice little teaser for anyone that's new here and needs to know sort of who everyone is and what's up a little bit.
It's also on this hilariously large
cue card.
We got a bunch of random paper from some old neighbor of my boss's, like an old person gave him 3 boxes of random paper, and it was delightful. There's amazing stuff. There's paper with wood texture printed on it, so it's like the tree got turned into a paper and then had wood texture printed back on it, so it's kind of funny. Anyway, maybe just to me, that's fine. I'm gonna read this thing now. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, I guess, 4 valiant folks left Ravenhall to escort the ailing Magus to where magic was born. We met a raven who had a prophecy born of fresh blood, a hero wishing to be forgotten, and his wife missing but present, a family of foxes and their transforming father, and a midwife, the Magus's life in her hands, which is where we left off. And I think it's my turn.
My mic doesn't want to turn back on. Yes, it's your turn. In order we are on screen.
Yes, and there's a cat too. She is also hungry, so we're going to be seeing a lot of her, I think. All right. Well, where we left off, if I recall, the midwife, the Magus, who has been struggling to keep their form, keep any form for a long time. She's back, isn't she? I can see her in the camera. So the Fawn, the midwife, was taking care of her in the ranger's cabin, and you had sent, I believe, me out to get some herbs, and I found some and came back. So we figured we'd have to stay a little while in order for the Magus to kind of regain some of their strength. So in that time, I'm trying to hone my old skills with the Rangers. So the way we described the Rangers previously was they were very, very tall, like 8 or 9 feet tall, long limbs, big cloaks. So Vago is standing amongst them. He's got a little short sword, which looks like a little dagger in his hand because he's kind of a bigger guy. And they are standing, 3 or 4 of them are standing around him with like short swords drawn. And they're going through very simple sparring. It's nothing. If they really wanted to, they could just chop him in half. So they're just kind of without talking at all, just helping him. If anything, it's just getting his like stiff limbs moving a little bit, and just trying to get some of that muscle memory of swinging that sword. He spars with them for maybe an hour or so. That's about all the time, all the energy he's got these days. And they are sitting around a fire. And he says, last time I was in these woods, there was someone I couldn't save. Now I travel with people who are becoming important to me. And I want to take any help I can get. When one of your friends kind of gets hurt, is there any special thing you can do to help them? If Fawn gets hurt in the woods and I have to help her, what can I do? The Rangers, they all kind of look at each other. One of them reaches a long arm into their robes and pulls out a small satchel and reaches almost across the fire and places it into Vago's hand. And they say, rub these herbs on the wounds. It will be healed within the day, assuming nothing worse has happened to them. Vago nods, tucks the herb somewhere safe, looks over to the cabin where he can see in the window, he can see in the front door, Fawn still taking care of the Magus. And he pats his chest for the pocket where he's keeping the herbs and goes back to kind of poking at the fire with a stick. And that's Vago's turn.
I like that it was insinuated that you would only be saving Fawn.
She was the person I could see.
That's not what I took it to mean, but I like it.
No,
it's not true. I like the fox too.
Oh.
Oh, so I guess that brings it to me then.
Yeah.
Well, I had an idea for a disturbing ritual last time. Now I can't remember.
Oh no.
And it was good.
Oh, go anyway. See what your brain comes up with.
It's gone. It's far gone. So we're gonna go to the hunting grounds. So Caspian, going for a late night hunt, being that he's a hungry little fox, runs off into the woods, looking for hopefully a rabbit or some other small game creature to eat for supper. It's traveling along a well-trodden trail, generally used for hunting, when he hears a snap of a twig. And this is where I'm going to roll to see what happens. As he turns around, an arrow flies, landing in his shoulder. Putting a paw to his shoulder, it transforms into a hand. And laying in the ground, he bleeds human blood as a hunter runs and picks up his limp body, passed out, running him back to the cottage, where a working midwife is working on healing the Magus.
That guy done messed up.
Making more work for me to do?
And that is where we end it. So I add the wounded tag.
Oh, man.
Seriously wounded.
Yeah.
Potentially fatally wounded.
He's a goner. He's as good as done.
Just write him off.
He's not quite dead yet.
May as well,
Just a little dead.
may as well finish him off, River.
Yeah.
I'll just eat him.
Guys want more chili?
Oh, no.
No. Fox chili.
Ew.
Too gamey.
Yeah.
Well, you know what we gotta do now. Because it's my turn.
Yeah, I'm super curious.
That's the Magus. I'm not touching him right now. He's a boring little baby. So.
No, they transformed. They were having that like that's what we healed them. They were having like a really vicious transform, and then I think we paused them at a. I don't think we said what their form was that they. Oh, they didn't pause. They're just shifting a little more slowly. They're back to shifting.
Okay.
But
Yeah, they're in flux.
they're back into flux, but it's a little bit more slowly paced. They don't seem to be quite as pained.
Well, I'm gonna go up here to the Circle of the Ancients.
Oh no.
And I think that everyone should come with me because we should try and do a ritual to save Caspian.
Ooh.
So if you want to come, you should come.
Yes.
To the ritual place.
I am definitely not leaving you alone with him, so...
Just eat them. Okay. So we're all at the Circle of the Ancients. So we saw Caspian get brought in to the cottage by this hunter and immediately realized that this wound was beyond the scope of anything that we could fix with some herbs and band-aids. And so we scoop him up, and the hunter, rambling, guilty, freaking out, is like, there's this place in the woods where you can go, and I don't know, sometimes people never come back, sometimes they change, and sometimes they're healed, and people say that there's miracles, and he's like completely incoherent and ridiculous, and we're like, okay, Mr. Hunter, dude, just take us to the place. So we make our way, carrying Caspian, all the way out to this clearing in the middle of the forest, and it's called the Circle of the Ancients for what becomes immediately obvious is that there's a circle of, we're gonna say, cherry blossom trees, because they're pretty. And there's no trees like this elsewhere in the forest. Everything's very classic forest. But this clearing is super cool. And even though it's not quite the right season for those pink, beautiful flowers, they're growing anyway. And So we approach this clearing, and even though it seems like a beautiful, wonderful place, there's something off about it too. But you can't tell what until you get closer to the trees, and you realize that it smells sickeningly sweet, like syrup made with like artificial sweetener. Like, it's gross. And so we go into the clearing, and who's I guess in the lead?
I'm imagining that like people are carrying Caspian in on like a not a cot. You know, what's the?
Yeah.
I could also imagine Bago carrying him.
Like, just as one as one person are holding Caspian?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I feel like Fawn is chasing after, like, trying to like check in and like take care, like, and make sure that, like, oh, don't shift him too much.
Okay, so as we approach the clearing, the hunter stops, and he doesn't want to pass the circle of trees, and he says, "This is it. This is as far as I can take you. It's too creepy."
If he says that, I turn to him and I say, "No way, pal. You're doing this with us."
Well...
Now, hop to it. And I gesture with my head towards, further into the thing.
Okay. And he walks up and through the circle of trees, and you can't see him anymore. So, who does anyone follow him?
Yeah. Okay. I keep going.
Okay. So if you're first, what do you see in the circle of trees?
It's a large. It's similar to the smaller altar that you had encountered previously, but this one is much bigger. It's maybe 5 feet by 6 feet. It's like a big stone slab in the middle. Mushrooms and various like small plants kind of grow around the outside. And I look at you, River, and I say, this better go right. And I put Caspian down on the slab.
I imagine as soon as I'm placed on the slab, these candles that were seemingly unseen just light.
Is this good? Are these good?
I think that's good. I think it means we're welcome here.
A lot of plant matter. We might be a brush fire pretty soon.
We can keep them in here, safe with us, lighting what we do. Is Caspian conscious or unconscious?
I'd be unconscious.
Okay.
Is he getting any worse or any better, Fawn?
Caspian, do you have an opinion on this?
Worse.
Dang it! Why did I let you have a say?
I always roll dice.
Have we pulled the arrow out? Is it still sticking out of him? I
haven't pulled it out.
I think what we did is we sort of broke the shaft.
Did the donut, if I remember from Scouts, the donut, you put it around it so that it managed. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like without making sure not to push it in anymore or remove it at all. It is just left there for now, blocking, and we broke the shaft so as not to have it interfere with anything. And we I think we lay him down and he's like getting worse. Like he's probably like sweating and like he's like not looking great. And I think Fawn is like like she's done all the she's done basic first aid, but that's not cutting it right now. I think she turns maybe to the hunter and she says, you did this. Was there anything on your arrow?
Oh, I'm the hunter.
I could be the hunter since you're actually in this.
That would be great.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sorry, but I don't use any poisons. No, I guess I think maybe my arrowheads were old. They may have been rusted.
That's
Tetanus.
the true enemy all along.
Caspian wasn't vaccinated.
Vaccinate your kids. Well,
Yeah.
Vago is looking very upset, and he reaches into his pocket and he stuffs something into his mouth, and he's frantically chewing it in one cheek.
Vago, this is not the time for snacking.
It's not a snack. And I reach into I pull it out of my mouth, and I've kind of softened up some of the leaves that the ranger's given me, and I carefully kind of press it down. Maybe a little too hard. I press it down around the wound. The chewed up herbs.
Not so hard.
I'm trying here.
Okay, hold it there. I think, okay, we're going to have to remove this. Where did you get those?
Just the Rangers. They gave me some. They thought we might be able to use it. I have some more.
Well, if they gave it to you and they're the ones who did this, maybe it'll help us out. I'm going to remove it. Press it down firmly, but not too hard. Hold it there. And then I think normally, like, if she's used to doing things with kids, so I think, because, like, normally she deals with children, I think she starts to count, because she's pretending to do the, like, 1, 2, 3, but she literally is like, 1, and then shakes her head and rips it out.
Vago's hands, like, go press down over the wound, and as some blood starts kind of probably leaking out of everywhere, trying to get the herbs, like, pressed right in.
Mm-hmm. And I think Fawn's hands come over yours, and she kind of, like, directs you to almost scrub them in a little bit, but then, like, hold on the sides opposite, almost like in a closing way. And then I think she's looking for something to sew the wound shut with.
I look over to the hunter and I say, "You're the one that should be patching our friend up. You made the hole."
I'm sorry. I don't know nothing about any healing. I just do the hunting around here.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, time to get some lessons, I think.
I think this place requires more from us than medical prowess. And I point at the slab, and Raven asks, "Can anyone read that?"
Reading anything but the local newspaper is pretty much is beyond me, so.
Are these the same runes that, like, River saw before?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know about those, right?
Yeah, we don't know about those. And we're just wondering, because I think Fawn is literally stitching up Caspian right now and is, like, not fully paying attention.
Valid. Hey, Mr. Hunter Man, can you read that?
I'm sorry. I don't see what runes you're talking about.
Incompetent, all of you. And she closes her eyes, sits down, and weirdly, it seems as if she's reading the slab with her eyes closed, and she just all of a sudden starts to hum, and it's this weird, eerie melody, but as she starts, the flames get brighter and brighter and brighter, and more appear, and then all of a sudden they go out, and smoke starts to drift throughout the clearing between the stones and gather up towards Caspian.
Oh, I think there's a spook around here somewhere.
Just keep your mouth shut. Is this doing something? And I start to lift my hand up to take a look, but then I look at Fawn and I keep my hand where it is.
I think you took your headset off for a little while. I think while you were away, Fawn started stitching the wound up, so your hands would preferably not be, unless you want them attached to Caspian's chest.
I lift up my hand. I pop in here, Caspian. No. Yeah, okay. Never mind. I'm standing off to the side and I'm wringing my hands and watching. Did it work?
I think, like I said, like, Fawn wasn't fully, like, didn't even fully hear River ask if anyone could read the runes, didn't even, like, fully take into stuff, but, like, was just working, and kind of, I think, as River read the runes with her eyes closed. No, I love it. Don't shake your head no at this.
I don't know what happened.
You know, hummed that sort of discordant melody, I think Fawn's head started to droop, and I think her eyes started to close, and she stopped from stitching, and her hands just went down, and she kind of, like, leaned in. And as the candles go out and the smoke goes up and things go dark, I think Fawn's head, like, her eyes open and her head comes up and she and, like, the smoke comes in and goes into the hands and there's, like, a bright flash with her hands over the wound, and then she just kind of steps back, almost, like, once again not fully aware of what just happened. What? I am... What? Oh, and then she dives back forward to check, and I think, like, as we, like, move, you know, whatever cloths and things we had there covering the wound, it's not gone, but it's definitely, like, surpassed what it should look like, in terms of healing with, just stitches. Like, the stitches are there, but it's almost like, they almost look like stitches that should have been removed already.
And as she's gasping and all of that's happening, River's eyes would flick open and look around. She stands up and moves closer to Fawn and says, the slab says that in order to give someone something, it has to take something in return. And I fear very much that he may no longer be able to lead two lives. It's supposed to be disturbing.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh no.
I don't know for sure, but to give him back his life, it had to take something of equal value. And then as she says that, you see Caspian take one of the first real breaths in a while, and as he exhales, in the smoke you see the shape of a running fox. You're alive.
What happened?
Something terrible.
Well, you're involved, so of course.
I just saved your life.
It's appreciated.
Don't thank me yet.
Vago's been standing over by the hunter, and he, like, puts one hand on the hunter's back and shoves him forward and says, "What do you say?" Well?
I'm sorry. And then he runs off.
NPCs.
I'm not talking to myself here.
That's fair.
I think, did Caspian like sit up like as he woke up, or did he just?
Yeah, he would have set up.
I think Fawn is trying to get him to lay back down.
I think maybe we get him back somewhere a bit better to rest.
I don't think we should stay here any longer than we need to.
No, this place is creepy.
Yeah.
Do you want to lift, or can you walk?
I should be able to walk. My shoulder's a little sore, but not my legs.
All right. Hop
Yeah.
to it then.
Fawn and I maybe help
Yeah.
you stand up, and then we make our way back
Yeah.
to the Grey Ranger's place. And everything's fine.
Fine.
Sorry.
For now.
Okay. Do not like. All right. So we've
I
gone.
like it.
We've gone around. I'm gonna say we get back to the hall of the Rangers and we take a little bit of time to rest, and I think Fawn would like us to stay longer to make sure that Caspian is okay, but everyone convinces her that we have to keep moving, and I think that it is time we move to the next place, so I'm gonna move the Magus to Spirit River, apparently. And so I think we move through the forest, and I think that I don't want to like declare this for Caspian, but I feel like we move like quickly, but we're trying to like also move safely because the Magus is still in flux and Caspian was just hurt, and I feel like because of that maybe Caspian hasn't had a chance to discover the fact that he can't transform yet.
It's still a maybe as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it's still like a maybe. I guess we don't know fully yet, but I think Fawn is just really sadly watching Caspian, but also still watching the Magus, and the Magus is in flux. The Magus is in their little cart, and they're shifting every once in so often, but it's not as like constantly as it was before. And I think we start to hear the river before we see it. We start to hear those noises, and sort of the ground gets softer and the types of trees around us sort of change, and we make camp for the night right as we reach sort of an edge of the river. And as we make camp, we keep several different people in the camp keep thinking that they see something on the edges of the trees, and they keep thinking they hear like movement, and you would swear that there's almost like a fox following us, but it's almost too dark, almost like a shadow. And every time before someone can turn to look at it, it's gone again. And it's as if you can only see it out of the corner of your eye. And we're at Spirit River now, guys. Yay!
Do I come after you, right?
Yeah, it's your turn.
All right. Vago is noticeably not upset so much, but he's lost in his thoughts a lot on this walk. And are we going? No, we've got we've got like a wagon, right?
Mm-hmm, we have a wagon for the
Magus, yes.
For the Magus.
We're walking alongside the river, but not down the river. So yeah, I'm going to tall grass here, and there is basically for about 10, 15 feet, there's this tall grass that there's a little bit of a riverside, whatever you call it, shore. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like the shore. There's like a little bit that we moved down. It's wide enough for the wagon and enough for us to walk kind of side by side, but right on our right, there's this tall grass. And Vago's been hearing everyone talk about this strange dark wolf that they've seen out of the corner of their eyes, but he hasn't seen it yet. And his eyes drift over to the tall grass pretty regularly, assuming that if he's going to see it anywhere, that's where he's going to see it. And he does see something, but it's not a fox. It's just like a pair of eyes. Like he sees a small figure, maybe 3 feet tall, 4 feet tall. He sees it kind of outlined in the grass, and it's as though it's pushed aside a little bit of the grass, and he can see just a little bit of a face. It's a little kid's face. And I nudge who would be with me right now. Imagine, Caspian, you're resting in the wagon, or does that make sense?
On top of it, probably.
On top. You know what? I'll nudge River, and I say, "Hey, Spooky, did you see that in the woods, in the grass?"
See the wolf?
No,
Huh?
something else is looking at us.
Where?
And I point as we're walking by it now, and I point behind a little bit, the general area of the tall grass. And then I just go over and I cut my hands like this, and I say, Hey kid, you lost?
It's a child? Out here?
Some kind of munchkin wandering around in the tall grass. Hey kid, it's fine, we can help you, or we'll give you a ride or something. And I move into the tall grass, and I kind of push it around, get to the spot where they were standing. And I reach down, and there's like a gasp from me, and I pick up this broken boat, like a toy boat. It's like been busted in half, and it's really, really weathered wood. And I turn around, and you get to see the bit of the toy, and I say, well, there's nothing. Sorry, I need some water or something. And absentmindedly put the thing into my bag. You're making me see stuff, Spooky.
No, that wasn't me. Whatever you saw was certainly there.
I kind of do this a bunch. I'm trying to keep myself from getting upset. You know, when you think you're gonna cry, you can kind of like try and do that. You're out in public. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. And I do like a dad snort, and like, I'm fine.
Well, look, let me help you look for them.
No. You know what? It was the fox, or just figment of my imagination. There's no kid out here. He would have answered if I'd called.
you say so.
I'm just getting old, Spooky.
You're the one seeing kids. I don't know if you can call me spooky anymore.
Like I said, you're rubbing off on me. That's it.
That is all.
End scene.
Ooh.
For the record, I was almost going to go fishing and do a real sad scene, but I didn't do it.
You want a sad fishing scene?
I want you to.
We're about to have a fad fishing scene.
Oh, a fad! It's so fad.
Yeah, we're having a sad fishing scene. With, hey Vago, you want to go fishing?
Maximum sad.
Yeah, okay. What's a big sad dad without fishing? Am I right?
So, it opens up with Caspian staring in the lake, in the river. I think Vago is actually the one that's doing the fishing. Caspian's just.
I didn't bring much, but I brought my fishing rod.
I mean, I'm sure you can make one.
No, I got one. Of course, I got one.
Caspian's just staring into the water. Vago, have you ever had a gift you've lost?
Well, I definitely have gifts I forgot to get. So I don't know if that's the same.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I'd say I've lost a gift.
Well, I think I've lost a part of me that's gonna make it so I can't keep a promise to my family.
The shape that you take, Caspian, doesn't change who you are.
This may be true, but I can no longer be wild at heart.
See, I don't think that's going to change that much. I know what you're getting at. I understand what you mean, but you'll find a way. Think of it this way. If you died on that slab, you wouldn't have been able to help him at all.
Just don't know what I can do for my young pups as a man now.
Well, what do pups need?
They need a father that can be there.
So do that then.
I suppose to the best that a human can for a fox.
Well, not to get too sentimental, but this human cares for that fox pretty well, and points over. I gesture over to you. We're figuring this out.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, I'll do what I can to help. And maybe it's temporary. Everyone's talking about how some shadowy fox is following us around. Maybe it's just trying to find a chance to jump back into your heart while you're sleeping.
Would that were the case? We can only hope.
Maybe the Magus will wake up long enough to give you a hand with that.
We shall see. No more sad stories. No more sad fishing in the dark.
It was dark? That's sad.
That is sad.
It's
I didn't know it was dark.
Don't the fish sleep at night? I
the
thought you get
country
up
song.
early in the morning to go fishing.
Going fishing in the dark or whatever. I don't know. I don't listen to country music.
Apparently you do.
Not enough.
It's River scene. What's River doing at this here river? Oh.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. I'm gonna sit right here at the main portion. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but I'm gonna do it. Where it says Spirit River, what follows you? Can I do that? Can I hang out there?
I don't have anything against it.
Okay, cool.
Technically no, but yes, do it.
Alright. So, whilst the gentlemen are out fishing, River is... After Vago mentioned seeing a child out in the tall grass, she has an idea. And as they're traveling, she is looking out the back of the cart carriage thing and constantly searching for the fox ghost steam smoke thing. and every probably few hundred meters she's leaving behind just pieces of food or scraps from her dress, in hopes that whatever is following continues to be able to keep up. But as the day goes by and it gets dark and they're out fishing and she finds herself either alone or alone with Fawn and the Magus, either or, she realizes that she probably needs to take more drastic measures and hops out of the cart and moves up next to the river, to the water, not herself, and just gazes into the water and tries to think of some way in which she can draw whatever this thing is closer. And I think just naturally as this is happening, I'm going to move my little dude over to by starlight because the stars come up as the sky gets dark, and she looks up and across the river she sees the smoky form of a fox, and she looks back to the cart and back at the fox and feels a massive amount of guilt and regret for what the part she had in what happened to Caspian, and is angry with herself because every time she tries to do something nice, it turns out awful. And every time she just tries to go along with the awful, things seem to turn out okay. So nothing is going the way she tries to plan it, and she wonders if Caspian would have been better off dead as a hero that his family could have remembered instead of returned as something different. And she looks across the river at the ghost foxy smoke wolf guy and just waits for any kind of response. I don't care who plays the ghost wolf smoky thing, and if nobody does, it can just drift into the wind.
Jess, it's the part you were born to play.
No, it's not.
It's actually, I think it should be Caspian that plays it. I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
Because it technically might be him. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think. So, the spirit fox wolf thing.
I keep screwing it up and calling it a wolf.
The smoking fox.
Starts to walk across the water.
Ah. Shocking.
And then as it gets halfway, it sort of does the mist thing where it just fades.
Oof. So, River watches this happen.
But it was
and-
walking to you.
And she looks up at the stars, and she looks back at the river, and she doesn't know what to do, so she just wades in to the river. Walk, 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 walk. And stands there, about chest deep in the water, staring up at the stars, feeling
Wet.
wet and awful and regretful. And that's where I'll end that.
I was gonna go over there.
Come, I'm here.
I honestly think that might be. I think that Fawn might have seen River kind of like go off, and I think she, tucks in the Magus, as she's always kind of checking in on him and on them, and I think she makes click that button too many times, makes her way over and ends up in sort of, walking along the shore, the bank of the river, and is looking around for where River could have gone. Looks at the water, and it's quite dark, doesn't really see anything, and then realizes River is just standing there perfectly still, like perfectly still in the water. Like she could just be another one of these rocks along the riverbank, with just, you said she's sort of just like chest deep, right? So she's just like literally just sort of her head and shoulders poking out. And I think for a second Fawn is a little, has a moment of concern and worry, as that's, I think, one of her basic states of being. And then I think she slowly goes to start walking into the water as well. I think she sort of like starts by lifting up her skirts as she's going in, like, I think she takes off her shoes and she starts to like get ready to like go into the water just partially, but then she realizes she's gonna have to go in, and she just like lets her skirts down and starts to walk out wordlessly to where River is. And how tall is River?
Let's go with tallish.
Tallish?
That seems like it makes sense.
Okay. I'm wondering how I want... I think Fawn is also tallish, like maybe a little bit, like medium, like average height, and then maybe a little bit, let's say curvier. She's a little more, she's stout. She works hard. She carries babies around in both arms and, curls them babies up and works out those midwife muscles. So she walks over without intending to interrupt what River is doing, but just sort of walks up behind her. Doesn't try and make herself unheard, but also doesn't try to fully interrupt, and is kind of from behind looking forward to where River is looking. And can't see exactly what River is seeing, but finally asks, "Are we doing something here?"
Well, we are standing in the water. I am waiting.
Are you waiting for an answer?
No, I already got the answer that I was expecting, but sometimes if you wait long enough, something new happens and you don't have to accept the bad things that are happening.
Well, sometimes you can accept what has happened and then make it better. Sometimes you don't have to change what has happened, but go forward with it.
Well,
Go ahead.
Well, the fox is gone. The magus is going, and the fox portion of Caspian was part of his magic and their magic, and I don't know what we're supposed to do anymore. When we left, I thought we were going to save the magus and save the world and save the magic, and it's all just going away. We have less magic and less foxes and less fun and less anything good than we had when we started. And I wonder if it's my fault.
I don't think anything you've described is your fault. What was happening to the Magus was already happening. I don't know that we can stop it, but I don't know that it means everything has to end. And what happened over in that circle, I'm sorry I wasn't fully present at the time, but you were right. In that place at that time, a price had to be paid for what we needed. But I think we might yet find another place that doesn't ask for that price, or we can spend the time and put in the effort and fix what we are able to. I think different places have different magics and ask for different things. And I think we might yet have the opportunity to help Caspian, because I don't want to believe that that part of him is gone.
Well, so far, my experience of this world is so unpleasant that I don't know how the rest of you exist in it. And I will continue to move forward, and I will continue to look for ways to help the Magus. But I worry that in the end, we are all going to want something different for them. And I will do whatever it takes to get the result that I want. And that may not necessarily entail the most pleasant of experiences.
I believe you.
Then we should go.
All right. And
It's really hard being that person. I just want to be like, I've had a change of heart. I'm gonna be really happy. Well,
River's pretty great. River has done a lot of great stuff.
she's pretty grumpy.
Spooky.
Yeah.
My turn.
It is. It is your.
And we've all had a turn. That
We have all had a turn, so you can move the Magus if you desire.
We have 2 possible destinations.
Ooh.
And I feel a little bad because I can see underneath the fog of war. Plus, I played the game a couple times, so I don't want to give myself too much of a chance to plan ahead. So I'm gonna sort of discuss with you guys. I'm gonna move the Magus on my turn, but we can head to Istallia, which we have only heard of at the beginning in the names, or we can head to the mouth of the deep, which is a cavernous complex that may or may not lead somewhere.
Sounds like it's right up our alley.
But Istallia is civilization, which we have not seen in a while, so.
That's true. We went from like a forest to a river. We've been pretty deep in it. But we could continue to be pretty deep in it in this mouth of the deep.
I will say that if we go to Istallia, we might be able to find our way back to the mouth of the deep if we want.
I'm all for Istallia.
Shopping, happy scenes, shopping.
With not too many spoilers, there seems to be an opportunity for a couple shopping trips. So.
All right, I vote Istallia.
All right.
Yeah.
That means it doesn't matter what Jess votes.
Yep, it doesn't matter. Everyone voted shopping.
Just kidding, your vote totally counts. It's not 1 against 3 at all.
So you can see, like, we can move from Istallia, we can loop back around over
If we
here.
want. Yeah, that's cool.
Plus, there are some other exits from Istallia that could lead to interesting places.
Cool.
Oh, where are you, Mr. Magoo? Here we go. All right, Istallia, the hospitality of the Gilded One. As we leave the river, there is a lot of rain, and we've been taking turns riding in the cart, just so that we're not getting too soaked to our bones. And it's Vago's turn in the cart, and he is sitting across from the Magus, who is semi-stable as like a teenager now.
When you say semi-stable, is he like, you mean his form is semi-stable, or you mean that he's like, no, none of you understand me,
Yeah,
and is like throwing things?
They are completely unhinged as far as the teenage part goes, but their physical form is semi-stable. They keep breaking out, and is it magic? Is it puberty? It's really hard to tell. So Vago is not getting the usual good kind of hopeful conversation that he gets from the Magus. Even though the Magus does not speak very much, I think we all probably just like feel better talking to them. But this kid isn't super responsive. They've got like a book that they keep writing in. And basically every time it seems like we say something wrong, they write it down in the book. So this is maybe my third shift with grouchy teenage Magus, and I'm sitting, and in the driver of the cart or whatever says, "We're coming up on Istallia." Yeah, that's the teenager. That's what the Magus is doing. We're on it. We're all on their list. And Vago freezes up, and he freezes up to the point where the Magus looks up from the book, and he says, "This is the farthest I've ever been from home, from my wife. This is the farthest I've ever been. I've been down the river a couple times, but this is it. Uncharted territory." What are you writing in there anyway? And I try and reach and grab it, and yeah, exactly. Magus pulls it away. Fine. Keep your secrets, kid. You're gonna be an adult again soon, maybe. I don't know. And then you're gonna kind of regret behaving this way, I think. We all do.
I almost just gave you the finger as a Magus and then realized that I don't know if I can do that on Twitch, so I didn't.
I think you can give the finger.
I think you're totally fine. Also, this stream is actually rated adult content, so you're good.
I don't know, man. I teach kids, and like the 16-year-olds, we're pretty strict. So.
But you flip me the bird. Where did you even learn? Who? And I lean out the thing, the wagon, and I yell, "Who taught the Magus to?" And then I see for the first time the gilded city of Istallia, and the rain stops.
Caspian double birds! Oh, one wasn't enough for you? Hang on.
I should have known. And I just pull back into the wagon, moment ruined.
This was the Magus that gave me my form.
He wanted to see the beautiful city, and we just gave him the finger so many times.
That's it. That's my great scene. I'm done.
Oh.
I liked it.
Caspian, you're up, I think.
Yep.
Can I make this more tragic?
Oh no!
Do it.
What are you doing?
So, who would like to accompany me to a marketplace of magic?
Oh heck yeah! I want to go shopping.
Okay, River and I go shopping.
Oh, Jess too. We're fun too. Anyone who
Okay.
can shop. Shopping.
So, at this marketplace of magic, we stumble upon an old crone, and she beckons to Caspian.
Do I get to be the old crone?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Just ask leading questions so I can take it in the direction you want to go. Come in. Come in.
Why, hello, old crone.
I have a name, young man. I hang it on the sign outside of the door on purpose so that no one comes in and calls me names.
I cannot read.
Oh, well, you're off the hook this time. It's Genevieve.
Well, Genevieve, I have lost something very special to me.
I can see it. I mean, I can see its absence.
And being a cunning madam like yourself,
You're getting better at this.
would you be able to help me retrieve it?
River and Fawn are here too.
I'm here.
Is fun.
Okay, yes.
Yes, I should say the little leaf means that you lose something from your sheet. It can be your name, your title, the place you came from. It can be something that you collected previously. So something changes. Yeah. The crone looks over at River and looks back at Caspian and says, "Have you not... What you lost, you traded it for a fair price.
It was not my choice to make."
And she looks over at River again and Fawn, who's kind of standing probably uncomfortably in the doorway. I don't know.
He was unconscious. He wasn't able to consent, but we had to save his life, so we took away his other life. It was a whole drama.
Next time, young witch, I suggest you get that consent. Or maybe people will come into your store and call you an old crone.
From unconscious dying people. So you're saying I should have let him die?
I'm saying you should learn to be a better witch.
Where do you get the idea that I'm a witch at all?
Now, sir, I can help you regain what is lost. But you'll have to make another sacrifice. And I don't get to choose.
I will make it.
She starts laying out. She has a large wooden table. She's drawing chalk things on the table, symbols and arcane stuff that seems like gibberish. She gestures to River. You light some candles. I assume you can handle that.
And she blinks, and every candle in the room lights up.
We only need 4 or 5. No need to show off. You,
All right.
midwife.
Yes, Genevieve?
I assume that you're skilled with the healing arts.
Well, I thought so, but apparently it doesn't always go exactly as planned.
Once this young man decides what he's willing to change to get what he had back, I'll catch the thing, but you're going to have to stitch it back in.
I can do that well enough.
I know you can.
I don't know if that thing is around anymore.
So, young man, have you decided what you might change?
I will give up my name. I gained it when I gained this form. So I will give up this name to retrieve it.
Very well, then. You, yes. My familiar is here. Write it down on this piece of parchment.
I take it and I hand it to River.
He wants you to write his name down on it.
If you could, River, please.
Why me? I think I've played a large enough part in your destruction. I don't know if I need to add to it.
Well, I can't write. I don't know how to write.
Fawn comes over and, like, starts writing it, like, takes it from a river and starts writing it.
Well, you could have just said that. I thought you meant you needed about me.
Oh no, we won't need your help for the ritual. We just need you to write his name down.
Well, looks like Fawn's already done it.
Very capable.
Thank you, Fawn.
All right. I'm going to return this man's other half to this room, but we're going to have to be quick. When you lose your shadow, you have to stitch it on very fast before it escapes again. And she
like
takes...
It's gonna hurt.
Oh. Yep. And she grabs the the sheet with the name on it and lights it with one of the candles and drops it into the middle on the platform. She pets her cat Mittens, and then
An important part of the spell.
you have to pet Mittens, or
Every witch knows.
Yep. You have to boop the snoot. It's just what you do. So as she places the paper, it burns up, and the smoke from it starts to get very thick, way thicker than it should, and then it coalesces into that shadowy form, the fox form. And the fox this is as clear as you've ever seen it. It's on the table, and it looks terrified. And the witch's hands kind of grow. The crone's hands grow long. The fingers get longer and longer, and they get kind of shadowy. It's almost as though shadow is the only way to grab shadow, and she grabs the fox and kind of shakes it like a sheet. Are you kidding me right now? This is my big scene. My big scene. Get out of here.
She thinks the scene is for her, obviously.
Like, crone? She takes the shadow of the fox, she shakes it like a sheet, and then puts it down, goes around to the other side of the nameless one, and holds it at his back like a cape. Now, midwife of Barleytown, stitch him.
Did she give me something to use, like something special to use? Like, is it just like a regular needle and thread, or is it like...
The needle looks like it's made out of some kind of... it looks like a material that like a railway spike would be made out of. It's very, very kind of brutal looking. It's black as pitch, and the thread is the same. The thread seems to be made of somewhere between real thread and shadow, and she hands it to you and says, "Now."
I think that Fawn reaches into a pouch she has on her side and takes out like a leathered covered stick and puts it in Caspian's mouth and is like, "I'm sorry," and starts stitching. And
it hurts.
He just starts howling against the bit.
It's the price you pay, young man. And I think that might be... I don't know. Sorry, this is your scene.
And that's the scene as the shadow is restitched with the final stitch. He crumples in on himself in a painful ball of fur and man. And that's where we end it.
I don't think that worked quite right.
I'm a little bit worried your transformations aren't going to be as nice anymore. I feel like they were always painless before, and now...
They're going to be like werewolf back-breaking. And, thanks for your help, Kat.
I love that you just changed your name. It's just the Fox of Mistwood.
Well, I don't have a name anymore.
Yeah, you don't have a name.
Oh, well, after that painful, unfortunate experience, it is my turn, right? Yeah, okay, cool. I want to continue shopping, but I'm gonna go to the Gilded District where the fancy shop.
Someplace with a less steep of a price.
Yeah.
Different kind of price. A regular monetary, way too high price.
And if anyone wants to come, they can come. Or I can go alone.
You're
I will
going to
join you.
the Gilded District? Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not. This place is. I'm not gonna.
I do you go back to camp first, or do you?
No, I think I'm like, screw this crazy bitch and her crazy magic. I'm out of here. I'm going to real shopping because somebody told me this was a shopping trip, and now our friend has no name and is weirdly furry. So
Actually, no, I'm not gonna join. I'd be in too much pain.
I'm going alone.
No, I was gonna say, I think Fawn, is doing that thing where she looks back and forth between, Fox and River and Fox and River, and is just like, okay, you're okay? River, I'm coming! And, goes chasing, after.
And, I was just thinking, I think we're not camping right now. I bet the Istallia, since it's a place of magic, probably set us up with stuff, and maybe, some experts are looking at... some scholars and experts are looking at the Magus.
I was gonna say, I feel like maybe the Starfall Academy is a magic school, and I feel like the Magus is maybe they even taught there at one point, or maybe
they're doing a lecture, but also under observation or something.
Yeah, a little bit of both. So I think we're set up at the academy.
Perfect.
Dorm housing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, off I stomp to the Gilded District in search of sparkly things. And the Gilded District is pretty much what it sounds like. Everything is ridiculously overdone and expensive and shiny. And the most important thing about this district is that the truly valuable things don't look as valuable as everything else. And that is how they keep them from being stolen. So there's all of these grand stalls with all of this stuff that the more you look at it, the cheaper it starts to look. And River appears to be searching for something. She looks like she's on a mission. And she looks back and she notices Fawn following her, and she just kind of huffs and whatever, and continues searching the district.
Fawn thinks they're having a grand old time. Fawn doesn't know that River is so unimpressed. And I think that, she's letting River kind of lead the charge, but she's following behind, one stall behind it every time, and she's looking at, fancy, dresses, and, ooh, this is pretty, ooh, this is pretty, and she's, holding it out for River to see, and River doesn't look, and she puts it back.
Excellent. At one point, River stops at a stall, and she pulls out this material, and it's got a pattern of roses on a milky white sort of background of the fabric. And she says to the market stall person, "How much for this?" Need a market stall person.
What kind of market stall do you want?
They got material, fabric. This is like a scarf.
Well, hello. What can I get for you, miss?
I'd like to buy this scarf.
Oh, this lovely scarf here, made of the finest silk.
Well, perhaps. How much?
Only 200 gold pieces.
Now, you and I both know what's going on in this district. That item is barely worth a few silver. So please, don't toy with me.
Ah, but now, this is the finest silk in all of Istallia, and you come to me saying that it's not?
Well, I know it's not. And she looks around and makes sure Fawn is nearby. And she starts to just like rub her hands together rhythmically. And emanating out from her hands.
Oh, you're loading up an Eldritch Blast?
No.
I knew it! I knew it.
No!
Fireball!
It's like an eraser or a cloth is wiping away a varnish or makeup, and the stall begins to appear for what it actually is, and the shabbiness and rundownness of the materials and the rotting wood that the stall is made up of, and finally the outfit of the stall keeper are shown to be nothing but poor excuses for material and wealth. Now, look, sir, I appreciate your illusion. I am looking for something in particular in this district, and this scarf is not it. But in order to continue my journey, I would like to at least pick this up for my friend. Please. And
Okay,
she hands him a few silver.
I don't know how you did this, but be gone, take it. Don't tell anybody.
She takes the scarf, puts the silvers down on the table, claps her hands, and it goes back almost instantaneously to how it was. Not a soul. And she turns and walks away and finds Fawn and says, "Here for you."
I love it. Thank you. And I think she like starts like twirling it around.
Will you help me find something?
Of course. What were you looking for?
That old crone had a muffin. Maybe it was multiple muffins. The thing, it made sounds, it sat on her, interrupted the spell.
Oh, the cat.
Yeah. I don't want that particular cat muffin thing. But
You really don't.
But I want something like that. I think she called it a familiar.
Yeah, that I feel like.
But everything here is just so confusing for my brain because there's so many spells on top of spells on top of spells that I can't even see past all of the sparkles, and I can't find any.
Well,
Have you seen any?
we could go down to the wharf and get some fish, or even just in general, sometimes by the fish shops they might have cats. If you want a wild one, if you want not a wild one, we could go into one of the nicer homes and see if any of the cats have had litters.
I
Just
don't
take one.
think I want a cat, but there has to be a place with things that like you, right? And slowly it dawns on you that
But
she's looking for like a pet shop.
I was gonna suggest we go to the academy because I was thinking they might have familiars handy there for people, but
Yeah, we can go there. And as you suggest the academy, you see like Raven's eyeballs get really big. Or River, the Raven.
yeah.
Her eyeballs get really big, and she's not quite smiling, but she looks way less spooky than normal.
Yeah, this might be... Have you not been here before? This would probably be a really good place for you.
I've never left Ravenhall before this.
Oh. So, I have to ask really quick. Have you thought of a raven familiar by any chance? Or were you hoping for something a little different?
I don't care what it is as long as it likes me.
I think either a raven or an owl even might suit you, and I'm pretty sure that there will be like a rookery or an owlry or something of the sort at the academy.
Should we bring everyone? Because if the Magus is there, we could visit them too.
Sure, we can try and collect everyone. Or some of them may already be there. That's where we are being set up to stay, so it does make sense.
Alright. I don't know how this works within the confines of the game. Like, are we allowed to move again?
Well, Jess's scene is coming up next, right?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to hijack her scene, but...
Well, if she's up for it, then Jess just gets to control it a little more as to what the results are. Mm-hmm. I thought you were setting her up, that's why.
I literally... My brain is so in exactly what's happening at the moment that I'm not even remotely capable of planning properly.
Yeah.
Well, alright, we can go there. If you want, I'll follow you, because it seems like you know what you're doing.
Alright, let's go. And I think she continues to swirl around her new scarf and happily leads the way to the Starfall Academy. And I think when they get there, Fawn is just like, I would just like to check on the Magus for one quick second. And I think she like shuffles off and finds him currently. I feel like he's in like a class and one of the teachers is like having trouble with him because he's like misbehaving because he's being a bratty teenager, and but
also correcting him because they're like a million years old or something.
Yeah, because they're actually the most genius magic person in this world, but right now they're a bratty teenager, and I feel like they're like being really, really rude and like correcting the teacher, and you see Fawn kind of like grab the Magus by the collar and take him over to a corner and has like a stern talking to him, and it's just like, doesn't matter that you know the answer, you can still be nicer about it. and then pushes the Magus back, and he does that like shuffle looking down and is like, oh, I'm sorry, and then like goes back to like
his pants are like half off his butt.
In this context, young wizards tuck their robes into their socks.
Oh.
It's very hip.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And then I think Fawn like shakes her head and walks back out to where River is. It's like,
yeah, if we're all together, Vago would be looking over your shoulder and would say something like, huh, he's someone else's problem for now. That's good.
Sorry, that's side chat. Back to the scene that people can publicly see. So, we have a new mission. Is the fox here?
I am here, yes.
I
look like a fox.
Are you like full fox? Are you like a little fox on the ground right now?
I'm larger than I used to be.
Okay, so you're like you're a large wolf-sized fox now?
You could consider it like a dire fox.
Okay, and then do human words come out of, like, does former Caspian's voice come out of Fox's mouth?
Yes.
Ooh. This is so good. All right, so yeah, Fawn walks back out and like looks at Vago and looks at Fox like, all right, we have a new goal that we're doing. The Magus is fine. They are occupied right now. We are finding River a familiar, one that likes her. That is the most important thing.
If you've ever seen a fox laugh, now would be the time.
I think Fawn kind of like very lightly nudges you with like her shin, maybe like with her a bit of her leg.
Sorry, River.
That woman said I could be a witch, and in order to be a witch, witches have familiars, so I'm doing that.
They have a storeroom here. I'm quite certain.
Are you suggesting a rat?
No. No. Heavens, no. That would be food.
Right, I forgot about your proclivities.
You all enjoyed it last time.
It's same as anything. We could pick up something to give you to give your new familiar to have a positive first impression of you. That's not a terrible idea.
Yeah, back on the farm when we had new horses come around, we would just offer it up a little sugar cube, and that usually was enough to, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm kind of a little Dr. Doolittle when it comes to animals. But, yeah, I think Fawn's onto something. That's the Barleytown way. You're going to try and get someone to love you, feed them.
If by Dr. Doolittle you mean you don't do much magically.
No, I don't need to, Fox.
Well, I'm down to find some food.
All right, let's go. And I feel like it's not too hard. Like, I feel like... Has Vago been here before? I think... I'm going to be honest. I was going to do a different scene, and I was going to say that Fawn has been here before and knows people here.
That can still be it.
Nah, it's okay. It's too late.
No,
It's fine.
Vago's... I've never been. My scene at the beginning was that this is the furthest I've ever been from.
Yeah, that's right. And this is the first time River's been here. The reason I'm asking. So I think then Fawn knows where we're going, since Fox suggested this and kind of leads us down to a bit of like a cellar area, and then looks to Fox and is like, do you think you could find one and bring it back?
A rat.
I mean, a rat is not, or a mouse, it would be appeasing to most familiar options, whether large predatory bird or cat or a number of things would actually like that. And then River has her options of who to gift it to.
Very well.
Oh, the rat's the food.
Can you bring it back alive, maybe?
I will try.
No promises.
I scamper off into the storeroom, and then several minutes later I have a little rat by the scruff of its neck in my mouth.
River, do you want to take that to give? Or do you want me to hold it for you?
I can hold it.
I just put it in your hand.
I got it.
All right. Let's try. Do we want to see who approaches you? We could go first to the kitchens, where there are cats, and see if they want to befriend you. And if not, we can go up to where the birds are kept, and you can try and pick one of those. What do you think? Would you want something land-based or flying? Do you have a preference?
I will let you know now that beasts of the sea are not fans of rats.
I don't know if anything of the sea would survive on our journey.
That is fair.
If you're not careful, you might end up with a sailor, so...
I'm gonna say,
want that.
I'm gonna say, River, that I do think something flying would suit you, even if it's not a raven.
Agreed.
All right, so then Fawn leads them up to like the top towers where some of the birds are kept and things, and I think she stops and shows Vago the beautiful new scarf she has. She's like, look, isn't it so nice? It has roses on it.
I got it for her because the first time I saw her, she was in the roses.
This is a very kind gift, River.
Sometimes I'm nice.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, yeah.
And now that's why we're all working together, and we're gonna find her a familiar who likes her. And she, like, once again gives you an eye, Vago.
I mean, if a witch can't swing a rat around in the streets and not find someone to like them, then I don't want to live in this world.
What kind of a world are we living in?
One where this is happening, I guess.
Yeah, and so I think Fawn continues to lead us upstairs, and kind of like you get into like there's a few sets of towers, and she looks one way and she's like, no, that one's just messenger pigeons. Let's avoid that one. And she's like, this one. And like you go into a room, and there's some like I'm trying to think of how to describe it. There's like a flap. No, I was gonna say like a flap, and there's some like wings spread, and there's some like feathers all over the place. Something like exits out the window as we enter into the space. But you do see along the walls a mix of large. There's some like falcons with those little hats on their heads because they're not allowed to go outside yet. There's some like owls that are sleeping, and there's a few like ravens and things. And Fawn is like, here you go, River. Go take a look and see who you think you like.
So she wanders around the room, holding her little mouse that is squeaking and peeing and pooping in her hand. Because I think it knows its death is imminent. And she looks around, and then just kind of holds the mouse by its tail and dangles it at the birds, and most of them are disturbed by this and fly away and kind of caw at her like, what the heck are you doing? And she sort of comes back with the mouse to Fawn and goes, I don't think I'm doing it right.
Yes, maybe not throwing it to them. What do you... I mean, how would you like someone to offer something to you? Perhaps a little more... I mean, slowly, perhaps, might be good.
I've seen like the chickadees in the yard. They'd like push nuts towards each other using their beaks as gifts.
I wouldn't put your face near that rat.
No, definitely.
I'm just saying it's like an example.
No, I definitely think you have it right, but perhaps it's simply holding it out and offering it, as opposed to shaking it at them.
All right. And so she takes another couple steps forward and kind of looks around. There's not a lot of birds left because she scared the crap out of a bunch of them. And she holds out the little mouse that, after all of this abuse, is now got either a broken foreleg or forearm or leg or something. So it's just sitting in her hand, shaking. And a couple of the falcons come over and awkwardly peck at her hand, but can't take the mouse because their little hats are on. And so they give up in frustration and fly away. And then all of a sudden, just when she's about to give up, she looks down, and the mouse is looking back at her, and it just kind of tilts its head this way, and then tilts its head that way, and then lays down like it's just ready to accept its death. And she looks at it and goes, all right. And the palm of her hand glows just a little bit, and the mouse sort of kicks off and gives a little shake, and its little leg is fixed. And it looks at River, and it looks at Fawn, and back at River, and then scampers up and sits right on her shoulder. And River turns to Fawn and goes, well, I don't think that went quite how we planned it, but I think he likes me.
I think they like you very much too. And while it wasn't the best start, it was an earnest one, and there is a clear bond there now.
Will you make the fox promise not to eat him?
Not now that you've touched it.
Sorry, Vago, what were you going to say?
I was just going to complain about all the stairs we had to come up for this, but I'm very happy that we found you a new friend.
Thanks, Vago. I might need some of that cheese after all.
Vago puts a hand on your shoulder and says, and now there's 5, or 6, I guess, with the Magus.
Oh, yeah.
Right, that
Magus
guy.
is their own thing. I mean, are they really part of whatever?
They're not part of their own entourage.
No, that's not how that works.
The retinue is everyone aside from them, I feel like.
Is that a good spot to end?
Yeah, I think that's a good spot to end, and I think we'll take a quick break here because we haven't done one yet. So we will be back in a few minutes. Thank you everyone who is hanging out. I'm excited to see what's next. Oh, it's my turn. No, this is my turn. Jordan, you better start thinking about what you're gonna do. What is Vago?
I've been thinking about it.
Okay.
I got a plan.
Start thinking about what Vago's doing, because that's what we're doing next. So hang on, everyone. We'll see you in a few minutes. Go get a drink. Go get a snack. See you in a few. Be right back. Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for hanging out. back. Took a little while to transition.
Yeah, you really wound up to that one.
I really wanted to drag that one on for as long as possible. This is the only place where I have powers and control, so I'm gonna play with them. Anyways, we're back. How's it going? How are you? Thanks for hanging out. Let's, another cat. Look! Is that... The fox now has a familiar, too.
Yeah. This is the ghost.
Aww, so shadowy and smoky.
Be sewn to your body.
Yes.
No. Anything but that one.
Jordan, it was your turn. So, what's Vago doing? Where's Vago going?
Maybe a day or so has gone by. The Magus is in high spirits because they are in a place that is alive with magic and exciting, and so they are.
I think they aged up a bit again, like a little bit.
Yeah, maybe they're in their early 20s or something now, and they're just living the life, the full college experience.
Yeah.
And they are just stalling for time to keep us here for as long as possible. And I don't know what you were in the middle of, Fawn, but Vago comes up to you and puts his arm through your arm and says, "Can I borrow you for a second?" And he's like rushing you
like
across.
Literally starts walking with and is like, can I do this thing I'm already doing?
Yeah, he has his hair combed. What little he has left. He is wearing kind of a shabby suit coat kind of thing, and he still looks like a Barleytown farmer, but it's obvious that he's trying to, he's trimmed nose hairs and stuff. Like he's done a little bit of the extra effort.
How tall is Vago? Is Vago very, very tall?
Yeah, I imagine him being kind of, I said,
he's a big guy, like a small giant.
Yeah, like Pacha from, he has like Disney cartoon big guy proportions.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
He is nervously is dragging, kind of half dragging, half walking you along.
I think she's like, hang on, and then like has to stick both heels in to get you to like stop for a second. And she's like, wait, why are you so dressed? And then she's like fixing you because she's constantly in mom mode. And she's like, wait, what did you do here? And she's like,
no, it's fine. I'm fine. I looked in a mirror and everything. It's just he's been traveling so much, and I'm just some lump back from the farm, and I thought if we had two Barleytown folk, then we could outnumber him when he starts, trash talking his hometown.
Who?
Rollo, my kid, Rollo. And I like grab your arm again. I think in his last letter he said he was stationed here. So today we're gonna, we're stuck here. We're gonna go see him.
All right, yes, of course. Well, hang on then. And she like starts fixing you again. She's like, wait then. And she's like, Kate, the style here is to have this button done, not this button. And she's like fixing you. And she's like, okay. It's good enough. Let's go.
Yeah. Thank you. And he, a little slower, a little gentler, but still a little bit frantic, scoops his arm around your arm again, and we march off to Nazad Station, where it is part transit hub and part little military base. And there are many flags of the Storm Guard here, which are kind of like a knightly order that has taken it upon themselves to protect the world. And this is just one of their stations. And I'm like nervously straightening myself out as we stand outside and we go up the steps. and I'm looking around. And I just start to yell, Rollo! Rollo! I came all this way, you better not be hiding from me.
I think, like, Fawn looks over at you and takes a hint at this and starts, like, as people come close, she's like, oh, excuse me. Do you know Rollo? Like...
He's probably real important. He's probably really important around here, so I know he's probably busy, but I just need him for 5 minutes. And I imagine a lot of people are kind of like, who are these bumpkins?
Yeah.
A little bit, and walking away from us or shrugging. Mm-hmm. There's someone who's like at a desk, sort of a front desk, and they're hunched over a piece of paper. And I go, excuse me, sir, I'm looking for, I don't know, I think he's like a lieutenant or a general or something. My son, Rollo, he's here. He's been sending me letters, and I know he's heading out from Nazad soon, but, and then the person looks up, the little scrawny guy behind the desk looks up, and I say, Rollo? And he's like, he's a pencil pusher behind the desk or something. So who wants to be Rollo?
Oh, hey, Dad. What are you doing here?
This was a surprise. I wanted to come and see it work. You marching around with the storm guard. That's pretty good. They get you a sword or a helmet or anything? And I'm like looking around the desk.
This is I'm just stepping in for Joe today. He wasn't feeling well. It was my day off, so I said, don't worry, Joe, you take it easy, man. I'm going to come in, and I'll totally just do your job, because it's, like, super easy for a strong knight like me, so, like, I'll just take over for the day.
Right.
And he was, like, super thankful, right, because he was really sick.
Joe, the usual front desk guy.
Yeah. He's a great guy, Joe. He's really great. But he's getting kind of on in years, and he gets sick sometimes, and so we all kind of pitch in to help him out, right? Hey, Mo, you know Joe, right?
I assume someone looks at you and shrugs or something.
You just hear a voice from, like, the back room, and he's like, oh, yeah, he's a good guy.
Okay. Well, that's you were always like that, Rollo. You were always just stepping up to help the little guy. It doesn't matter your station. That's
Yep.
That's
Barleytown. Britches, Dad, right?
That's the Barleytown in you. That's the Barleytown. This is my friend, I guess. And I gesture over to Fawn. This is Fawn. She's from Barleytown too.
Oh, well. Hello, Miss Fawn. It's very nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you too, Rollo. It seems you seem to be doing well here. Your father was very excited to see you.
Sure am really excited to see him too, but boy, oh, what a surprise. How'd you guys get all the way out here?
I moved around the desk, and I say, aren't you going to give your old Pop a hug?
Oh, yeah, sure, Pop. And he stands up, and you realize that he's, like, half the height of his dad. So he goes to hug him, and it's, like, face plant right into his belly button.
And there's a big hug. But I see behind the desk that there is a lot of musical notation. Like, he's been writing songs or something back here. And there's just pads of paper or parchment and stuff. You pick up a hobby on the road there?
Oh, no. This is Joe's desk, and Joe, he's real into music, That Joe, he loves a good banjo.
Yeah, that Joe sounds like a really interesting guy, but I'm here to see you. Tell me, like, where have you been? What have you done? Istallia is pretty cool on its own, but, what's Stormguard like?
And you can see him, like, sweating. It's just, like, as he tries to come up with more story, the beads of sweat start accumulating on his forehead.
You can't let down a couple of bumpkins from Barleytown. We want to hear the whole... Right, Fawn? We want to hear...
Yes, but I mean,
do.
also, this looks really nice, this music here. Like,
Well,
is that...
We could meet Joe later. I think that this, I mean, first of all, we shouldn't be going through someone else's stuff, even though he shouldn't leave it out here like this, because it's weird. But, you know, I think I'm really here to hear tales of daring do and adventure. Your letters are great, but they're not the real, like, you know, I want to hear it from the pig's mouth, you know?
Yeah, Dad, I know. Come on, let's go sit outside, just outside for a bit, and I'll show you the spot where I took out the sea monster.
They got you fighting sea monsters.
Yeah, the sea monsters, they come up to the wharf, and you gotta scare them away, Dad, or they eat all the fish, and nobody has anything to eat, and it's a crisis, and...
That sounds important. And
Yeah.
I think Fawn nudges Vago, like just elbows him. That sounds really important. We absolutely want to go see that. Please.
Yeah, okay. You got someone who can take over for you, or do you want me to go get Mo? Or
Hey, Mo, can you take over for a desk for a bit?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Hey, thanks, Mo. Make sure people pay for their tickets, you know, before they get on the train.
Will do.
Oh, it is a real easy job. Yeah. So we go outside, and maybe there is like there's a dock of some kind, you know, like it leads down to the wharf. But so you scare off the sea monsters that threaten the livelihoods of all the people in Istallia.
Yep.
Well, it's actually a lot closer to what your old pa does than I was expecting you to ever be. So that's good, I guess. Don't you feel you've got the training of Storm Guard that you could probably be put to better use in the front lines or something? Not that I would, want anything bad to happen to you, but just you spend all that time in the helmet and the armor and with the sword, and you think that they would probably put that to good use.
You know what, Dad? I was so strong that I was making all the other knights look bad, and it was really demoralizing for the whole army. So they sent me back here, and they said, you know what, man, we got this huge sea monster problem, and if you can take care of it alone, because that's how strong you are, then we'll call you if we need you for like anything real big.
So the big question here is, am I failing to buy your lie, or have you been told that this is a real job and you're a dummy?
These seem
It's up
like
to you. It's up to you.
All right, son. Yeah, too strong. Well, are you happy? My mom only asked one question. Your mom, sorry, only asked me to ask one question.
Well, Dad, you asked like 12.
I know, but that's the only one that really matters, is the one your mom wants to know. Are you happy?
Well, sure, Dad. Who wouldn't be happy being the great sea monster slaying hero of Arleytown come to Istallia?
I lean back against the dock and I look at Fawn, and I look over at Rollo and I say, now, you don't really slay him, like you kind of just spook him away.
Well, it's a little less spooking and a little more playing songs that calm them down and send them back out to sea.
Okay, so...
What? That's amazing! Is that... Wow! Do you make that yourself, or is that stuff that they already had?
And he's just looking at Fawn like, no.
Like, Vago, isn't that amazing? That's amazing!
Just one second, Fawn.
But,
Just 1 second. You need to answer a question for me, Rollo. Is Joe real?
I mean,
Look.
are we real?
Okay. That worked when you were 16, but it doesn't work now. Your letters told the story of thrilling heroics. And so when I got a chance to come out to see you, I was really excited to see that version of you. But if that isn't you, that's fine. But lying isn't a good way to, faking it. I'm not super bright, but you were never going to pull a fast one on your pop.
Aw, Dad, it's just...
Hey, you want to write tunes and sing to the whales? You know what? I think that's great. We don't have anybody who sings good back in Barleytown, so,
Well, I don't know, it's just, you were this great hero, and I was supposed to go and join the Storm Guard, and I was gonna grow up to be just like you, and then I joined the Storm Guard, and I failed, and they kicked me out, and I didn't want to let you down, so I kept sending you letters, and because I thought that maybe they'd let me back in, but I don't know, I think it got kind of out of hand.
Right. Well, next time your life gets twisted around, you put in the letter that's what happened, and I'll be like, all right. Deal?
Yeah, deal, Pops.
All right. This scene is coming to an end, kid, so if you want to play it out with some whale song, it's all you.
I love my dad.
Well, that was very nice. And
that's out there on the internet now.
Yeah.
You did it.
Oh.
And we spend the next little bit listening to the strange song of my son Rollo, who is somehow better than I ever could have expected. It sounds like you're getting sick.
It's like Dory when she talks to the whale.
I know what you're doing.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Okay. Kid, it's your turn. Do you want to do something in this town, or do you want to move us?
I will quickly reveal our options, because there are a couple. So we can loop around back to the mouth of the deep. There is also something called the ice rail, which also in turn connects back to the mouth of the deep. And then over this ways is the sea wing, which is a boat.
A boat.
So yeah, I have revealed a new symbol. I will quickly point it out. This little torch.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get there from the mouth of the deep, and that represents going underground.
Oh.
So we'd role play at the mouth of the deep, but then you'd have the option from here to go underground. Then that's where your journey kind of goes. So the kind of two routes are underground or across the sea, really.
Magus.
Well.
Is it you? You get to pick where we go.
Hey!
Or you could be democratic and put it to a vote. But I don't think you should do that. You have the power.
The power is in your hands.
And we just all end up voting against Jess anyway.
Yep, that's true. Whatever I pick.
You know you want to go in the creepy tunnel.
I do want to go to the creepy tunnel.
It seemed like you were really excited about the boat.
Yeah, I thought you were
No.
really excited about the boat too.
Not really.
No.
Okay.
Jess was excited about the boat, and it's the opposite.
I was excited for Mouth of the Deep last time, and y'all didn't want to do it, so
I told you it's the
No.
opposite of what you want at all times.
I gave up on it.
We're going deep in that mouth.
Oh man.
Oh, come on now.
I'm no longer ready to go in. Nope, stopping.
All right, we're saying goodbye. Well, yeah, we'll say goodbye for now. Okay.
Bye, Rollo.
Yeah.
So, as we commence our downward trek into this cavernous...
Can I just ask one question? Why did we pick to go this way?
I'll get there.
Okay.
Ooh.
We notice a light in the distance. And the magus starts to follow it. And it takes us down into a cave, following it off the shore. And it goes down, 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 down. And then we find ourselves inside of a deep, looming cavern with stalactites, stalagmites, seeming almost as if it were a giant mouth yawning in front of us. And the Magus looks at us and he says, I believe we came the wrong way, but there is no turning back now.
What does the Magus look like right now?
He seems to be in his a male form, early 30s. Slow to move. Every time they take a step, you see sort of a telegraphed motion, and almost every movement they make, it's slow, and you see every bit of motion.
So his movement gives away, their movement gives away their age.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we can take the wagons anymore.
Do not think so.
I would probably light a bunch of torches and hand them out. Is that kit?
That's that.
All right.
So are the only options for this one are...
Cavern, the Deep Way, and Cave Dwellers.
That's it? It's just those three?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, Cave Dwellers has a bunch of different outcomes, so
Okay.
potentially. So, and you're allowed to repeat prompts.
Okay.
It's Katie's turn.
Yep.
Oh man, this is a difficult decision. Is there anything that you feel drawn to that you want me to set you up for, Jess? 'Cause
No.
I set you up to like
No.
last turn.
It's fine.
Okay. I'm going to then go to the cave dwellers because that looks pretty interesting. And all right, so we have our torches, and we're moving through the mouth of the deep. And it's difficult to see, even with the torches. But all of a sudden, along the walls, we notice like symbols and carvings and the clear signs that someone or something is in here. And I turn to everyone and I say, look at this. Should we be moving towards this or away?
This is the first time that I'm worried that the Magus is leading us a little astray.
Well, what do you think, Vaughn?
I think it could be a stray, and yet still there could be something of value here. There might be something we could use or see or learn. There could be something that simply appeases the Magus for a while, and as this may be their final journey, they should be allowed to do that if it's what they want.
All right. Following the Magus we go. And the Magus continues forward into the dark. And as we follow and twist and turn and left and right and down, always down, we look around and suddenly we come to a fork in the passage, and this prompts us to remember that we haven't had to choose too many ways to go. There's only been one way so far, and there's a left and a right, and they both look like deep black pits of darkness. And so River turns to the Magus, who seems to be wavering closer to the right, and turns to everyone else and says, "What do we do now?"
The fox goes up to each opening, sniffs a little bit. Well, the air to the left smells only slightly less foul. That is any clue to which way to go.
And almost as if he's specifically defying you, the Magus sets it off down the right work path. And they are moving more quickly now than they were before, but they still look like labored about it. And all of a sudden, the path is gone, the floor is gone, and everyone is falling through the darkness for a long time.
Crazy old man.
And they land kaplunk, in some water. And swimming to the surface, River first looks around to make sure that nobody is immediately drowning.
Vago floats.
Valid. Everyone's okay?
The lights are out,
Yeah.
and all our stuff is wet.
I fear they'll be out for a while. Does anybody have night vision or dark vision?
I'm just crappy human.
I can do a little, and I think, like, you can't see it, but in the dark, Fawn, like, rubs her hands together and kind of, like, holds and can make, like, makes just the smallest little floaty light. Like, it's so sad, it barely does anything.
But it lights up enough, and maybe there's some reflection on the water, that you see that the Magus is got his arms, got their arms around my neck, basically, and are bobbing on me.
Oh no.
And then, as the light drifts out just a bit further, you see that we are surrounded by a flock of what appear to be mermaids.
Okay, are we talking like sharp teeth wanna eat us mermaids? Are we talking like Disney mermaids? Are we talking like, you know,
Harry Potter mermaids?
Yeah, are we talking
Are they all pale and they've got big, gross eyes, and because they've been living in the dark?
Yeah, are they like anglerfish mermaids and they have like little like lights coming out their heads, and then when they smile it's just all teeth?
18 rows of teeth.
Yeah.
I think that we should roll to find out.
Oh man.
But Jess or someone should do it because I don't have any dice.
Okay, I have a dice.
So that was what, 6?
Well,
choices?
no, but you're doing cave dwellers, right? So that you're rolling for that. So it's how are they like beasts? Wait, what? It's I got 5?
That would be what keeps them at bay. So, as we look around, we see that they are rotting. And their skin is barely attached.
Does this hurt you to do this to mermaids?
Yeah.
Okay.
And their eyes are sunken into their heads. And the only thing that seems to be preventing them from devouring us is this tiny glimmer of light produced by Fawn. Guys, I do not think these are friendly people.
I think Fawn gasps and the light goes out. But then you hear like splash, splash, splash. And then like, there's like a moment of like silence. And then like she almost like freaks out and throws something up in the air. And like a bigger light, like this time just like a poof, like a big light goes up, and she's just like, ah! Like.
So they had come, and as soon as the light went out, it was like freeze tag as children, and the light went out, the light came back on, and they're all within inches of putting their face on Jess's or on Fawn's face. And as the light bursts back, they screech this high-pitched, horrible, awful sound and dive back down into the safety of the water, but you can feel in the current underneath you that they're not leaving, they're just waiting.
I don't like this.
And their tails brush up against the fox's toes, and Fawn can feel a nibble on just one ankle. And it starts to hurt.
You made a bad thing, Katie, and I don't like it.
I love it.
I hate it. I just wanted to meet some nice friends who were mermaids who made music, but it was a freaking 1 in 6 chance. So what are you gonna do? Now you have zombie mermaids.
I think Fawn is kicking out, and she's still like she is managing to like. I think she's treading water with one hand, and she has a hand up, and like I said, she made a much bigger light this time, but she seems to have to concentrate to keep this one, whereas before she made that little self-contained little baby floaty light. This time she's made a much bigger like light, but she's like concentrating, and she's like, they're trying to pull me where? We need to get somewhere, please.
Oh, no, go.
So Fox, seeing that Fawn is having troubles swimming and keeping the light afloat, swims and grabs her by the collar and starts swimming away with her.
I think
to help her swim.
Yeah, I think that helps like Fawn, and she's able to like concentrate on the light and kick more at the things coming at her feet, and sort of like allow herself to be pulled along by the fox.
Hey, useless Magus, now would be a good time to remember literally any of your powers.
I imagine the Magus is terrified. For the first time, they've got a look on their face of just pure terror.
That's valid. I'm just a total bitch, apparently. And in frustration and anger, she, holding one hand, her little friend, who can't get wet or he'll probably die of hypothermia in seconds, she looks at him and says, "Can you do it?" And his little mouse nose goes, "Boop." And he makes the most heroic leap over to Fawn and tries to land in her hand that's trying to do
That's
light.
holding up the light.
Does he make it?
Yeah.
He absolutely does. Absolutely.
So the second he lands in your hand, he like rolls around in it for a second and then jumps up to the wall of the cavern and then starts running. And you see that he's glowing and he's super bright and he's running laps around what ends up being a relatively small cavern. And he's running and he's running and he's running. And all of a sudden, he disappears. Poof. And you hear River scream, "That must be the exit. We need to follow him." And he pokes back out and he's glowing. "Swim towards the mouse."
Towards the mouse.
I'm doing it. I'm doing that.
Yep.
I'm doing that thing.
And I'm going to let that be the end of my scene because I don't want to carry this thing anymore.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to decide our fate.
Yeah, no, that's valid, but also that means it's my turn, so thanks.
More on the dice than me.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
This is the one where they all die in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's the descent.
So I'm gonna pull myself over to Cave Dwellers too, because I feel like we're continuing this story. I'm trying to find a place to like put my thingy where I don't cover any of the words. Okay, that's a good one.
Oh, really?
What?
Looking for a place to put your thingy.
That doesn't cover all of the words. Stop ruining the context of my statement, Jordan.
He doesn't even have a thingy.
So...
Not that I'm aware.
So I think everyone kind of works together and we all swim in this direction, and Fawn continues to concentrate and keep what was a very small light has become a rather large light, and just sort of is trying to keep it above all of us so as to keep these zombo merms at bay, because no one likes a zombo merm. And I think she's allowing herself to be dragged along by the fox, and I think we keep does the mouse have a name? It's just you're familiar right now? Has River named?
I think he's about to earn a name.
I like it. Okay.
I don't know.
No, that's perfect. That's great. So we're all following the mouse. Oh. I'm trying to think, like, but every once in a while I think someone feels like just like a hand. You know what I mean? Like, I actually just scratched myself trying to indicate, like,
At one point, the fox feels something wet, but like too wet, and like a tongue falling up the back of his neck. Sorry, continue.
I love it. And I think at one point Vago feels the Magus getting pulled slightly from him as well. Like, I feel like this is not an easily escaped situation. Like, it's very rough. What is River dealing with as we, like... Is River leading the way? Like, is River the first one to see?
Yes, and oddly enough, they don't seem to be coming anywhere near her.
Interesting.
And she's not really aware of that. Because the absence of something, right? Not normally.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, they aren't really coming too close.
Interesting. I'm wondering if anyone else notices this, though, because I think we're all sort of behind you, and we're all feeling stuff happening, and River doesn't seem to be getting harassed in the same way, which is really interesting. And I'm just gonna roll now, because that seems to be the fun of this one.
You've described their beastliness in very well. So
yeah, these be beasts. I got a 4. So that's the same thing. What keeps them at bay? I'm imagining that we continue to follow the mouse, and we do eventually like find like a shore, and we each sort of scramble up it, and maybe even like we get up and we start to like, you know, we're like coughing and like wriggling ourselves out, and we're sort of standing there, and we have this light just above our heads, and it only goes so far, and sort of like just off to the edges of the darkness you still hear the occasional like splash or like rocks shifting, and we look waiting to see something come up on the shore following us, but nothing.
And all of us are.
But nothing yet seems to be happening. And Fawn is like, I think Fawn is starting to look a bit drained, and she's still just like holding up this light, concentrating, and is like, okay, so we're out of the water. Is there anything? How are we getting? Do we need to go up? Like, is there just a like hole straight up, or is there like?
I imagine that there's just more passageways and caverns on this side.
Is there literally, once again, like a fork? Like we can literally go left or we can go right?
Up to you.
I think the Magus, once Vago gets on the shore, the Magus just sits there, sort of in the center of all of us for a little while. And they don't move or say anything. And then they sort of just get up, turn, and walk. And Fawn is like, wait, don't step out of the light! It is now just like following after the Magus, and if y'all want to stay inside the light, y'all are gonna have to follow Fawn, who's following the Magus.
I definitely do that, 100%.
Oh, yes.
I linger a bit. Like, I let them go. And I try to reach out to stop someone. Do you hear that? I don't know who would be.
Near the back.
Fox would be.
Do you hear that?
He, perks his ears.
And slowly coming just off the edge of your hearing, you hear like a chorus of hoarse whispers saying, "Give them back." Over and over and over. Give them back.
We better leave.
You're a bad person, Katy. You're a bad person.
I had to do my zombie mermaids their full duty until the end. And
Oh,
then
I feel like I made it worse.
I say, yeah, we definitely better leave and follow Fawn and everyone.
I mean, I think that's the end of the sea.
Do we each want to do we want to round out so that we all have one turn here, and then we can come back at the next one with the start of whatever the next destination we decide? Or do we... Or that seems like a pretty good place to...
with you. No, you finished, Jordan. You
No,
finished.
no. I'm fine. That seems just a pretty damn good place to also wrap it up, so...
All right.
It's up to you guys. I can play a little longer or whatever.
Jordan.
I was literally starting to type that into the Zoom chat to ask what everyone wanted to do, and then I deleted it because you started asking it out loud.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I'm
it's
fine with finishing this
one, like Jordan's.
this location. Yeah,
Well,
Oh,
if we
wait,
do
then-
it... Yeah, who's after me? Kit?
Kit.
me.
Yeah, so if Kit and I do one,
Okay.
then we'll be ready to start the next thing.
Okay. Got it.
This is terrifying.
You're so welcome.
We walk for a long time. There is silence. Everyone's listening for any movement, any motion, a rock being put out of place. The magus stumbles, kicks a rock, and we all jump.
Fox growls.
Yeah. It's really warm down here, and eventually our clothing goes from one kind of wet to another as this, like the heat of this place, the sauna-like heat of the place, kind of makes us all soggy. And Vago is a sweaty guy already, so it's just making everything even worse. But then we feel it, this cool, if not really fresh, but cool breeze. And this kind of like low whistling of it as it comes down the cavern towards us. And we round a bend, and it opens up into this huge, can't even see the light. The light doesn't even show us the ceiling. This huge cavern, and Vago like rubs his eyes to adjust to the light that's down here. Hovering in the center of this cavern is this huge glowing rock that is lighting basically what looks like a little oasis down here. It's not fancy, and the plants are still all mushrooms and stuff, but there is a little bit of moss that's growing that looks comfortable. And there is a whisper on the wind. It's not a freaky one. It's a calming voice. It's the voice, that one of your parents might make when they're calling you back from dinner after a Saturday of being out all day.
That would be creepy if that happened while I was in a cave.
But it has the calming effect of that.
Okay.
The comforting effect is what I mean. Against supernaturally, I guess it has that. And Vago is like listening, and he kind of gets everyone to listen, and the voice says, "You're safe here, children. Rest." Well,
Who the crap is that?
we're stuck between two voices now. Which one sounds better?
Sometimes just because something sounds nice doesn't mean it is.
I still definitely pick this voice over those crazy fish, mermaid, chompy things.
Yeah, I'm with Spooky on this one, surprisingly.
Too spooky, even for me.
Agreed.
Oh yes, I wasn't suggesting we go back to the water.
But who are you? voice?
There's no response. The cool breeze keeps moving around. The water seems like you can drink it.
And you said, Kate, did you say there was...
There's like a glowing rock in the middle that's lighting this place up. It looks like it's been...
So Fawn can, like, finally turn off her lamp. She's like, oh.
This place is kind of, like, lit in a perpetual twilight, basically.
Do you think they won't come in here because of the light? Or because there's no way to swim in?
I think if they were following us, Spooky, we would have heard them flopping all the way along.
Like a sad Magikarp.
Yep.
I'm glad Magikarp are a thing in this world, too. It's just the name of the saddest fish in all the land.
That's what we were fishing during the sad fishing scene, was sad Magikarps.
Sad Magikarps.
The sponsor fish of every sad fishing scene.
Wah, wah.
Poor little guy.
Well, I'm going to pick mushrooms. And then we're going to guess which ones we can eat.
I will let you do that.
Mushroom roulette?
It's going to be a team effort. When I go around and start doing that.
Fauna's going to look for some algae or simple plant systems that should, in theory, still be capable of existing. Certain warts and things should still be able to exist.
It has all the properties of a clean surface pond.
Well, we wouldn't want to remove all the filter systems, but some. It's probably fine.
I hold up one of the mushrooms and I say, if it's got spots, you better not, right? And I toss that over my shoulder.
If it looks brown, you can keep it down.
All right, got a handful of brown ones.
These are sayings from Barley Town that Vago and Fawn both know.
And I grew old.
Oh, Lord.
I grew old following these rules, so I'm fine. Is there... I guess we would have nothing we could light fires with now, eh?
Well, have the all-powerful Deus Ex Machina of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lame. Maybe I can't. You know what? Actually, I try, and I can't, and then I am extremely distressed.
Maybe the Magus steps up at this point and just like the smallest little flame pokes out of his finger, and he puts it down to a little pile of dried out mushrooms. I don't know how this works. I guess we need wood for this to work, so.
I mean, any sort of... I think...
I'm going through my pack. I'm pulling out anything that didn't get completely soaked. I have a little pot, so we can boil something in it, but we need fire.
I think Fun has like probably a few dried herbs that can burn, as well as like a few, like a wooden spoon, and like well, I really like this spoon, but I guess if we need it, and like, but sadly starts breaking it into kindling and like putting it into the fire along with some like herbs. So now it smells like they're burning. The herbs catch fire first, and then the wooden spoon makes a sad little campfire, and I think it smells somewhat more medicinal in here now.
And I put some rocks around so that I can balance the pot on and start making mushroom stew of some kind. Brown mushrooms only, of course. They're the safe ones.
And like I said, I think Fawn pulled some algae and simple system organisms.
Perfect.
No mice, please.
No mice.
All right. And we're safe for now.
Nap time.
Yep. So it looks like we might end on a camp, which makes sense. That's a good place to end.
It is a good place to end.
Yeah.
We all kind of have a sad little meal together, with a mix of like herbs used to burn the fire and like maybe a few in there to flavor the sad mushroom algae soup.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
And next week's game is canceled because we're all dead. From mushroom.
Yeah, but
Speaking of next week, I'll speak of next week after.
okay.
Never mind.
No worries. Let's go around and everyone can say bye, and if they want to plug anything or tell people to go visit them in other places, you can go do that. And we'll start at the bottom. Jordan, it's your turn. You go first. It's you. You're it.
Oh no! You can come. I'm Jordan. You can see me on Twitter at MadeOfCartoon. Sometimes I talk there. I will definitely answer if you scream at me. There, I will answer. And tune in for the next one of these on a Tuesday, not too long from now. And then on Friday, we've got the first of 2 of June's Fiasco Fridays on this channel. So come watch some fiascos happen. I think we're gonna put a poll up. We're gonna put a poll up so that oh, okay, we're gonna put it in Discord. I thought maybe on Twitter.
Oh, we'll see.
There might be a poll. There might not be a poll.
Out.
That's part of the excitement of all of this. But regardless, tune in on Friday night from 8 till 11 for some nonsense. It's probably it's a game designed to create nonsense. So yeah,
that's the fun of it. Oh hi, it's my turn again. Hi, my name's Jess. This is my channel. Thank you for being here. Thanks for checking this out. Hit the follow button if you haven't already. If you're watching this on YouTube later, then hit that follow equivalent-ish button over there and come hang out on the Twitch and watch stuff and play things with us. Join the Discord if you want to get into some games, because sometimes that's where we shout about them, etc. Ongoing. We have a lot of fun TTRPG stuff happening. Our ongoing Spire series. This is a fun ongoing one we have, and then lots of fun one-shots. We have the Fiasco Fridays coming up. We have some Tales from the Loop, which is very exciting. We've been running things out of the Uncaged anthology, which is great, and just playing through a lot of different Borderlands stuff right now because there's so much great new content coming out of E3 and stuff like that. So thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Hide your faces. See y'all later. Katie, it's your turn.
It's me. My name's Katy. Don't try to find me anywhere because I'm hiding from the children that I teach. If you find me, pretend you didn't, and go look for the rest of these guys because their stuff is way cooler.
Kit.
Hi, I'm Kit Battlebeard. You can find me here the next couple of weeks, and on my channel every Saturday where I run D&D. And the next upcoming Mondays, you can find me on Bloodthirsty Puppets Twitch channel, where we run their homemade spiced system. We're doing a bunch of one-shots where I have a bunch of fun, cool characters. So you'll have to tune in at 7 GMT. I don't know, it's like 1 p.m. my time. So yeah, go check that out. It's really fun. Post-apocalyptic. Even.
Yay.
Yeah, go check that out. It's fun.
That sounds pretty great.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that it's post-apocalyptic and maybe sad.
Oh, very much not. Yeah.
Happy post-apocalyptic?
Well, I am playing a biker priest who, by biker priest, I mean I am on a pedal bike.
That...
For an old god, and by an old god, I mean Jesus.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing. That sounds awesome. Go check out Kit. Go check out Jordan. Don't go find Katy. She said no. But thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. We're gonna go raid some other awesome TTRPG people right now. So let's